Welcome back to How to Craft Fair. This is episode 3 in the How to Become a Craft Fair Organizer series. Today we're going to be talking about event themes. This is a really fun aspect of planning an event and an opportunity for you to sort of inject your personality into your show. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So right off the top, I'll let you know that themes generally work best when you're planning a recurring annual event, okay? Usually it's based around some sort of holiday or some sort of time of year, and then that way you can keep this theme rolling as the years go by. Personally, I recommend planning an event with a theme that's tied to a theme because I think it just makes it more fun to organize, market, and attend. So think about it from the shopper's perspective, think about it from the vendor's perspective. There's a little bit more reason to come out and celebrate the day, and it adds like a sense of camaraderie too and togetherness. So it's a lot of fun to plan these events and a lot of fun to participate in them as a vendor and even just to visit them. So those are just some of the reasons why I personally like to tie a theme to annual events. So about 2 years ago, sometime in late 2022, I sent out a survey to approximately 18,000 artists, crafters, and vendors from all over the place. I mean, not even just the United States, but it went all over. And one of the questions that I asked in that survey was, do you enjoy participating in events that have a theme? And are you more likely to sign up because there is a theme? Only 12% of the responses came back as they do not enjoy participating in themed events. So this is one thing to think about as a vendor, but more importantly, I think this gives really good feedback to event organizers that if you're having some second thoughts or trepidations about whether you're going to attach a theme to your event, just keep in mind that, at least based on this survey, only 12% of people, vendors, said they wouldn't be interested in your event because it has a theme, okay? So basically, you'd still be attracting 88% of the pool that's out there of vendors. So I wanted to open up this video with that piece of information just as like some hard numbers to get a little bit of feedback from the organizer perspective of, if vendors are interested in this kind of thing or not. All right, so now let's talk about like some pros and cons. Some pros of having a theme for your event. The first one is that it's more memorable for the vendors, the visitors, and yourself as the organizer. You kind of just remember it more when there's this visual element attached to it. So let's say it's a 4th of July event. Maybe there's like some things that you can do where you have like a certain type of vendors that would have maybe like barbecue food or food that would be grilled. Or if it's a Halloween show, maybe you could have like a costume contest with all the vendors or even the visitors. You can just start to incorporate other elements to the show that just make it easier to remember. So this is one of the biggest pluses of having a themed event, is that it is going to be a lot easier to recall this show and to make it stand out, maybe compared to other things that are going on the weekend of your event. Now, another thing to think about as far as a pro for having a themed event is the ability to reuse signage and even some decor from year to year. So think about the different times a year and the visuals that are attached to it. Maybe you're going to have an event that's taking place in the fall. So you can have some corn stalks, some hay bales, a scarecrow, maybe they make like these plastic jack-o'-lantern type of things. Think about all the different things that you can keep in storage, and especially if you're taking good care of these items, you can reuse for possibly 3, 4, 5 years. So yes, you're going to have some expenses up front to buy these type of materials, but it's going to greatly enhance the experience and support your theme. And while that upfront cost for the first year might be a little bit of a burden, think about the way that you can reuse these from year to year and how that might free up some additional revenue for you to spend on advertising the event in different ways that you might not have been able to if you were just buying these things every single year. So take great care of all of your decor. Think about phrasing your signage in a way that is reusable from year to year. And I would recommend that you buy additional signage each year. So the decor you can probably get away with, buying maybe every other year, every third year if you're taking good care of it. But the signage, I would recommend that you start with a series of signage for your first year, if it's going to be like a first event that's hopefully an annual experience. And then as the years go on, start to basically expand upon your signage and get a little bit more. And again, phrase things on your signage where, you can use it from year to year, not where you're printing specific dates on the signage. Reserve that for flyers, handouts, things that are a little bit less expensive, or perhaps you do the event like the third Saturday of the month or the last Saturday of the month every year. That way you can reuse your signage no matter where the dates fall each year. So just think about all those things in advance to save yourself some time and especially save yourself all those marketing dollars up front. But again, I want to circle back to the point of the visual aspect of themed events. There's so many different pros to having this type of show. Think of all the different elements that you can have at your event that are basically in addition to the craft fair. Okay, so if you're getting close to Christmas, maybe you can have like a Santa come in, right? Or even just think about the music and the ambiance that you're presenting at the show. Build out playlists that are based on what the theme is, what time of year it is, maybe the vendors that you're trying to attract at your event or the shoppers that you're trying to attract. Keep all of these things in mind as you start to curate and build out a playlist of music that you can play during the show, because again, there's so many variables with a themed event where you can tie music into the show that's really going to enhance the experience for people. So think about everything. Think about visually all the things that you can see and encounter, the food, the entertainment. Is there going to be like a photo booth with certain props that might be cool for a certain time of year? Think about the music. Think about, again, the food vendors that not only are participating in the show, because a lot of times there's food vendors they reserve booths at the show, but maybe like some different food trucks that you can bring in. There's so many different elements that you can tie into the theme, and these are just all great things to think about that's going to really take your event to the next level. All right, now let's talk about some drawbacks of having a themed event. We did mention this earlier, but yes, there are approximately 12% of vendors who aren't interested in being vendors at a show that have a specific theme tied to them. Okay, so like I said, 12%, it's probably workable. That's probably fine for most people, but you are having a little slice of vendors go a separate direction because you have a theme for your event. So just keep that in mind. Now, another thing that you should consider is that if your theme is tied to, say, a specific holiday weekend or something like that, it is likely that you'll have a little bit of competition in your area with events that also have a theme. Okay, so this is really, really common in the fall. Typically Halloween, there's some sort of Halloween weekend show or, costume dress up type of thing. So just think of things that you could do that are going to separate yourself from the competition, right? Like, how can you take it a step further and really just, again, set your event apart from what everybody else is doing? Now, another potential drawback, or at least decision that you're going to have to make, is whether or not vendors should or must have items related to the theme. And this can potentially be a little bit of a troublesome spot. Okay, so it's one thing to have a theme with what you're doing as the organizer, say like, with the music, with the food, with the decor around the facility. But when you start to extend the theme to what the vendors shouldn't present at their booths, then that can be a little bit more restricting. It can be a little bit tougher to draw vendors just because everybody might not be prepared to present their booth in a certain manner outside of what they typically do just at a regular show. So that's one of the things that you'll occasionally see at craft fairs is the theme is kind of extended to the booths and the vendors themselves. It's pretty tough to pull off, but if you can pull it off, I mean, that is something that is a really cool experience. Some of the ways that I've seen this done, again, I've, already talked about it a couple of times. Halloween for sure. People kind of bring out like these spooky different items that maybe you don't see the rest of the year. Another common theme that you see that vendors start to kind of partake in is springtime events. So sometimes you'll see vendors that pull out things that maybe wouldn't do quite as well at different times of year. So for example, I had one vendor who was a woodworker, very talented woodworker, but they made all sorts of different stuff. So they had cutting boards, chessboards, they had custom wooden pens, all sorts of different stuff, right? Like a really wide variety. And for a spring event, it was a really big event in May. They made birdhouses, and they wanted to feature birdhouses because they thought that would do well, for that time of year, people just starting to kind of freshen up their yards again. And they did really well. They did exceptional. So there's ways that vendors can weave themes and related items in and out of their booths. But again, all vendors might not want to do this, or they might just not have the type of inventory that can translate to a theme. So keep this in mind. We talked about the 12% who just straight up wouldn't be interested, but then there's also vendors who might be excluded if you ask them to participate in the theme when it comes to their booth presentation or even the type of items that they're showcasing. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. Now, when we start talking about themes, I think the knee-jerk reaction and the first thought is themes that are related to a certain time of year, maybe a certain holiday, like we talked about the spring show, we talked about Halloween, Christmas, things like that. But keep in mind that as an organizer, you have a lot of creative freedom. I mean, if you can book a show and you can draw an audience, then that's great. I mean, that's pretty much your main goal at every show. Draw a large audience, keep your vendors happy. That is your main objective, okay? So as far as themes go, to give you some other ideas of themes that you can have fun with, one of the cool things that might be fun to explore is some sort of like retro revival event where there's a lot of throwback items, maybe antiquing or repurposing is a big element of the show, just some sort of like retro aspect of the event. So that could be something that you do. Also, I'm a big fan of oddities, so I think an oddity event is absolutely fantastic. This can do well when it's placed a little bit closer to that Halloween time, but it also is a little bit more predictable to have it that time of year as well. So perhaps you do this like in the spring or maybe really, really early summer. That could do well too. So maybe that'll make you stand out from everybody else who might be doing it, towards the end of the year. So there's just a lot of different things that you can do. Really, the possibilities are almost endless. It's all a matter of how passionate you are about this to see it all the way through. So you don't want to go kind of halfway on a theme. You're basically all in, or you shouldn't really do it at all. So keep that in mind. And I know that this is pretty early in our journey of this series, how to become a craft fair vendor, but thinking about a theme is something that should be thought about very, very early on in the process. We're going to talk about all the detailed steps of organizing a craft fair throughout the series, but very early on, you should have your heart either set on or away from having a theme very early so that as you start to plan every other element of the show, you already have a vision for what you want to do. So keep that in mind. I know this video was a little bit shorter compared to the rest, but I just wanted to kind of introduce this as something to think about and some of the pros and cons of having a theme at your event. This was episode 3 in the How to Become a Craft Fair Organizer series. To check out all the other videos in the playlist, click on the playlist above, and thank you all so much for watching.